Okay, let's dive into something that sounds a bit complicated but is absolutely crucial if you're a professional. We're talking about claims-made insurance, and there's a hidden catch inside these policies that could literally cost your business everything. Understanding this is not optional, it's essential. So picture this. You've been paying your insurance premiums on time year after year like a model professional. Then a former client files a claim against you for a project you finished a long time ago, back when you were fully insured. You think, no problem, that's what insurance is for. But then you get a letter from the insurance company saying, sorry, not covered. How is that even possible? It feels totally unfair, right? But believe me, it's a very, very real risk. So what's the deal? The answer to this crazy paradox is almost always the type of policy you have. It's likely what's called a claims-made policy, and that name, well, that name holds the entire secret to how it works, and more importantly, how it can completely trip you up if you're not careful. All right, so what exactly is a claims-made policy? To put it simply, it doesn't really care about when you did the work. What it cares about, what everything hinges on, is when the claim is actually made and reported to the insurer. For that policy to kick in and cover you, the claim has to be filed during the time your policy is active. Let's just pause on this for a second, because this is the whole shebang. During the policy period. These 5 words are the entire game. If a claim comes in the day before your policy starts, or just one day after it ends, you're out of luck. Timing isn't just a factor. With this kind of insurance, it is literally the only thing that matters. I know this can feel a bit abstract, so let's walk through a super simple, real-world example. This is going to make it all crystal clear and show you just how this plays out. Okay, so let's set the scene. Your policy has what's called a retroactive date of January 1st, 2020. That just means any work you did after that date is potentially covered. Now, let's say you finished a big project in March of 2023, and right now your active insurance policy runs for the calendar year of 2024. Everything seems fine so far, doesn't it? Now, here's where the road forks. Let's look at 2 possible futures. In scenario A, your old client files a claim in November 2024. Great news! That date falls smack in the middle of your active policy period. So, you're covered. Phew. But what about scenario B? The claim comes in just a few months later, in February 2025. Your 2024 policy is now expired. And because of that, you are not covered. It's the exact same work, the exact same mistake, but the outcome is night and day, all because of a few months' difference. And that right there brings us to the single biggest, scariest danger of claims-made policies, what we call the uninsured gap. And look, this isn't some small technicality. This is a potentially catastrophic risk for any professional out there. I really want you to let this sink in. If your policy lapses even for one single day, you effectively erase all the protection you've paid for all your past work. Any claim that pops up during that gap for any project you've ever done suddenly becomes your personal problem. The stakes really couldn't be any higher. So is there a safety net? How do you protect yourself from falling off this cliff? Thankfully, yes. The solution is something called runoff cover. You might also hear it called tail cover. You can think of it like an extension cord for your insurance. It's a special policy you buy when you stop your main coverage, and its one and only job is to cover your tail for claims that pop up later on from work you did in the past. All right, so now you get the risk and you know about the solution. So let's turn this knowledge into a real action plan. The key here is knowing exactly when you are most vulnerable to that uninsured gap. There are really 3 critical moments you need to have your guard up. First, when you're stopping trade or closing your business. The company might be gone, but your liability for past work, that sticks around. Second, when you retire. Your responsibility for those past projects doesn't just retire with you. And third, and this is a really sneaky one that catches a lot of people, is when you switch insurance companies. You have to make sure your new policy honors your original retroactive date. If it doesn't, you've just accidentally created a massive gap in coverage for all your previous work. So if you take one thing away from this, it's this. Don't just assume you're protected. The only way to know for sure is to actually look at your policy documents. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your past work, the very foundation of your career, truly safe? The best thing you can do is go check your policy's terms today.